If you are a Detroit Tigers fan, right now your head is probably spinning because the front office just pulled the trigger on a blockbuster trade that completely changes the entire trajectory of this franchise. We are sitting here on August 3rd, 2026, watching the dust settle after President of Baseball, Operation Scott Harris, shipped the reigning American League Cy Young winner Tarik Skubal to the Los Angeles Dodgers. It is a massive polarizing move that has the entire Motor City divided. The Tigers are only 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. They just came off a dominant 11-2-0 sweep over the Oakland Athletics in Sacramento, where the offense looked absolutely lethal. But instead of being aggressive buyers, they decided to sell their absolute best asset for prospects like Zahir Hope and River Ryan. When a move like this happens, it forces you to look back at the history books. And if you want to understand the true impact of trading elite talent, you have to rewind the tape to December 4th, 2007, because that was the exact moment the Detroit Tigers were on the other side of a historic blockbuster that completely altered the DNA of the organization forever. I am talking about the legendary Miguel Cabrera trade. Let us set the scene. Back in the winter of 2007. The Tigers were coming off an 88-win season, and they were incredibly hungry. They had a taste of the World Series in 2006, and they wanted to get back there immediately. They were operating in aggressive buy mode under general manager Dave Dombrowski, who was never afraid to empty the farm system for established stars. Meanwhile, down in Florida, the Marlins were doing what the Marlins historically always do. They were looking to shed payroll. They had a 24-year-old generational talent playing third base who was arbitration eligible and about to get very expensive. Miguel Cabrera was not just a good player, he was an absolute superstar. He was coming off a 2007 campaign where he played 157 games and slashed an absurd .320 batting average. He racked up 188 hits, launched 34 home runs, and drove in 119 RBIs while scoring 91 runs. When you look at his underlying metrics from that era, it is mind-boggling. He had elite plate discipline and the ability to hit absolute nukes to all fields. Any franchise in baseball would have given up their top prospects to get a guy with that kind of offensive profile, because players like Miguel Cabrera only come around once in a generation. The Marlins knew exactly what they had, and they were demanding a king's ransom. Dombrowski did not blink. Dombrowski packaged 6 players to send down to Miami in a deal that shocked the baseball world during the winter meetings in Nashville. The centerpieces of that package were 2 of the highest-rated prospects in the entire sport. You had Cameron Maybin, an elite toolsy center fielder with blazing speed. And you had Andrew Miller, a towering left-handed pitching prospect with a devastating slider. The Tigers also threw in catcher Mike Robello and pitchers Dallas Trahan, Eulogio de la Cruz, and Burke Badenhop to sweeten the pot and finalize the blockbuster. At the time, giving up Maybin and Miller felt like a massive risk. You are trading away years of cheap team control and potential star power for one huge contract. But the Tigers did not just get Cabrera. They also acquired Dontrelle Willis in the deal. Willis was a former Cy Young runner-up and a fan favorite who brought a dynamic energy to the mound. The Marlins thought they were securing the future of their franchise with Miller and Maybin, while the Tigers were pushing all their chips into the center of the table. The impact of this trade simply cannot be overstated. Miguel Cabrera arrived in Detroit and immediately became the most feared right-handed hitter in a generation. He anchored a Tigers lineup that became an absolute juggernaut in the American League. Cabrera went on to win back-to-back American League MVP awards. He won the elusive Triple Crown in 2012, leading the league in batting, average home runs, and RBIs. He led the Tigers to 4 consecutive American League Championship Series appearances and another World Series trip in 2012. He became the face of the Detroit Tigers for over a decade and guaranteed a spot in Cooperstown. The trade is widely considered one of the most lopsided deals in modern baseball history. While Cabrera became a legendary icon, the prospects the Marlins received never quite panned out in Florida. Andrew Miller eventually became an elite reliever later in his career for other teams, but he struggled mightily as a starter for the Marlins. Cameron Maybin had a solid big league career, but he never became the franchise-carrying superstar the Marlins envisioned. The Tigers won that trade by a landslide because they prioritized elite-proven talent over potential. Now you have to compare that aggressive win-now mentality of 2007 to what is happening right now in 2026. The current Tigers front office, led by Scott Harris, is operating under a completely different philosophy. Instead of trading prospects for a superstar, they just traded their superstar for prospects. Tarik Skubal was the undisputed ace of this rotation. He was the reigning Cy Young winner. He was painting the corners with pure gas and a devastating changeup that left hitters completely frozen. Giving him up to the Dodgers hurts deeply. It feels like a gut punch to a fan base that has been waiting for a true ace. But when you look at the return, you can see the long-term blueprint. The Tigers acquired Zahir Hope, who is an absolute physical specimen in the outfield. Hope was tearing up Double-A Tulsa this season, slashing to 93 with an on-base percentage of .369. He launched 23 home runs, drove in 87 RBIs, and stole 18 bases in 94 games. His StatCast metrics show insane bat speed and exit velocities, consistently topping 105 miles per hour. He possesses the kind of raw power and speed combination that scouts absolutely drool over. He is a legitimate blue-chip prospect. Then you factor in River Ryan, who is the other major piece of this return. Ryan is a high-ceiling right-handed pitcher who came back from Tommy John surgery and immediately started showing off an electric arsenal. He posted a 4.46 ERA in the Dodgers system, but struck out 43 batters in just 36 innings. His fastball absolutely jumps out of his hand, and he has elite spin rates on his breaking pitches. The Tigers are banking heavily on their pitching lab to turn him into a frontline starter. They also received Brady Smith to add even more depth to a growing farm system. This is the exact opposite of the 2007 Cabrera trade. In 2007, Detroit traded their future to win the present. In 2026, they are trading the present to secure the future. Scott Harris is making a massive calculated gamble that Hope and Ryan can develop into foundational pieces for the next decade of Tigers baseball. But here is the most fascinating part of this entire situation. The Tigers are not waving the white flag on the 2026 season. They proved that yesterday when they completely dismantled the Oakland Athletics with a statement 11-0 victory to secure a series sweep. Kiter Montero took the mound and delivered a brilliant performance, proving that this rotation still has teeth even without Skubal. Montero was commanding the zone and inducing weak contact all afternoon, keeping the Athletics hitters completely off balance. He even had a bizarre viral moment in the first inning where he popped a hard-hit batted ball up off his own body and miraculously caught it to record an out. It was a lighthearted, incredible moment that showed the vibes are still incredibly high in this dugout. The offense exploded for 12 hits. Spencer Torkelson ripped a crucial two-out to run double in the first inning to set the tone early. Veteran infielder Gleyber Torres, who has been a massive stabilizing force for this lineup, drove in 2 more runs with a clutch single in the 4th inning to blow the game wide open. This clubhouse is still fighting. They are sitting just 2.5 games out of the wild card, and they refuse to roll over. Tomorrow, they head to Seattle to face the Mariners in a crucial West Coast series at T-Mobile Park, with first pitch scheduled for 6:40 p.m. Pacific time. That trip is going to be the ultimate litmus test for this roster, as Casey Mize takes the mound with a 2.70 ERA and a 4-6 record to face off against Seattle's Emerson Hancock, who holds a 3.26 ERA. and a 6-5 record. They are going to step onto the field without their Cy Young winner, but they still have the belief that they can grind out wins and shock the American League. The 2007 Miguel Cabrera trade gave the Tigers a decade of dominance by bringing in a generational bat that terrified opposing pitchers. The 2026 Tarik Skubal trade is a massive gamble that Zahir Hope and River Ryan can be the foundation of the next great Detroit team. It is a completely different era with a completely different strategy. So, I have to ask you, do you think Scott Harris made the right call by trading Tarik Skubal right in the middle of a wild card race? Or should they have kept him and made a push for October? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to Comerica Deep Dive Detroit Tigers for more daily coverage.